Welcome to Pioneers in Payments, where payments experts share their insights. Now, here's our host, Donna Blum.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Pioneers in Payments. Today, it is my great pleasure to welcome Dr. Angela Murphy, also known as the Payments Elsa. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I am so glad to have you on the podcast. It's interesting. We just saw each other very recently, like yesterday in Atlanta. We were both attending the Paytech Women Leadership Summit. And I just want to congratulate you on your award, Emerging Trendsetter Award. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. I'm honored and humbled by the recognition, and I'm excited to continue to be a pioneer in the industry.
Very good. Now, you recently started a new position at Pidgin. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. This year, I started as the Vice President of Marketing and Solutions at Pidgin. They're based out of Atlanta. Great team of people. I I couldn't imagine myself being in a better place.
That's fantastic. Well, and so deserved. They're lucky to have you. I know that you have a lot of experience in the industry. Would you mind sharing with our audience a little bit about your background in the payments industry? What brought you to Pidgin? And also, I'd love to know, how did you become the Payments Elsa?
Absolutely. I'm happy to share that. So, my story is a little bit non traditional as it relates to coming into the payments industry. I came out of academia. My PhD is in rhetoric, which is a humanitarian discipline. So, not scientific, not financial, not marketing, not really anything other than what I made it to be at the time. And I when I finished my degree, I knew that I didn't want to be a professor or an academic. And I was looking for something that was challenging, dynamic, complex, where I could help people and create change in the world around me. And that's how I found payments. I essentially went to LinkedIn and applied for every single job that had the words strategy or insight in the job title. And one of the companies here locally in Kansas City, that's a payments company in the B2B payment space, picked me up and said, "Hey, we like you. Would you come here? Do you mind?" And I spent the better part of a year basically going in an hour early every single day and looking up every acronym in this industry, creating flashcards. I would go into meetings with the C suite because they were so invested in my development. And if there were things that I didn't understand in the meetings that I was in, I would write it down or write down the question or anything like that. And I would make flashcards and I would run through those flashcards every day. And it was just such a great experience for me because I'm a lifelong learner, I'm a researcher. And it matters so much to me to be someone who is constantly learning, who is constantly evolving, who's constantly changing with the industry. And so I cut my teeth. I cut my teeth in B2B payments, which is inherently complex for a variety of reasons. And I just fell in love with everything that this industry is doing to make people's lives easier as it relates to their payments behaviors and as it relates to money movement. Fast forward a couple of years, I was working at an AI company. So I basically developed my acumen in faster payments and artificial intelligence simultaneously, which I'm not sure is something that's also standard. But I think that it's an incredible way to view the industry and to look at the future of what we're all trying to do. And about 6 months ago, the folks at Pidgin reached out to me and asked if I would be willing to come on in more of a marketing and solutions role. And I wasn't sure that I could do it, if I'm being 100% honest, but that is okay. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And when I heard about their product, when I heard about what they were doing, I thought, I can add something to this conversation. And so Pidgin as a company focuses on faster payments, instant payments in the US. So if you're thinking about RTP network, which is the product of the clearinghouse. If you're looking at the FedNow service, which is a product of the Fed, they're the recently established faster payments rails in the US. And what Pidgin does is enables financial institutions, whether you're a bank, community bank, credit union, bankers bank, etc., to get the institutions onto the rails regardless of your core platform. It's basically a translator to get your core to translate to the faster payments rails and vice versa. And that's really exciting. We need that level of connectivity in the US because it helps us compete on a global scale. And so at Pidgin, once I decided to join, I took a clear look at how faster payments is functioning in the US, how it's functioning globally. And that's the story currently that I am trying to tell.
That's wonderful. Well, and it's interesting. I mean, when you talk about faster payments and AI, I mean, both of those are the cutting edge of payments, right? You're looking towards the future of the industry, and I would imagine that uh, you being able to translate for organizations and simplify it as much as possible for them is a huge benefit, because it can be very confusing right now in the industry with so much disruption and transformation. So that's excellent. Actually, you and I served together on the Faster Payments Council as well. So been a lot of focus on faster payments, and you know, what you're doing is really at Pigeon is really helping to make faster payments more ubiquitous. So that's wonderful. Okay, so the next question I have for you, with all that's going on in the industry, I think I might know what your answer is going to be, but we'll see. What would you say is the top trend in the industry?
I think right now there is a lot of conversation around faster payments, but also fraud in particular. So it's faster payments, it's fraud, and then there's also the conversation in terms of fee or interchange revenue. We just saw this week that the DOJ is suing Visa over their fee practices as it relates to their debit network. The CFPB is coming down pretty hard on the card networks in terms of their consumer behaviors. There's there's a really hard look going on right now in terms of how the well-established networks are behaving in terms of their constituents. Uh, and I think that's necessary. There are a lot of different payments behaviors in this country, a card behavior, a digital wallet behavior, a banking behavior that need a strategic and also empathetic look. And I think that's where I come to this conversation from is I look at faster payments as a way to enable dynamic commerce within the US. And it's not just on the consumer level. There are a ton of options, use cases for consumers to be able to access their money more like quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's necessary. There is a significant underbanked population in the US. We have 350 million people that live in this country. 69% of our businesses in the US are SMBs, small to medium sized businesses that have fewer than 20 employees. We have a significant portion of the population that needs access to better tools and services for money movement. And it's a huge opportunity for financial institutions, whether you're a bank, a community credit union, etc., to serve those customers. And essentially what's happening right now is that money is either being transacted on the card networks, which might not necessarily be the best customer experience, and or it's being transacted in what I call digital wallets, where it's a stored value and the money never touches a financial institution. So it exists in the ether and it's not protected for the consumer. So that's where the fraud conversation comes in. So when I think about the relationship between faster payments and how it relates to payments behaviors in the US, I think that there's a lot of opportunity for banks and financial institutions to step up to the plate and say, we see what your behaviors are. We would like to protect you better. Let us help you.
Very good. Okay, I was wrong. I thought you were totally going to take the AI approach.
Oh, AI is it's super great. No,
No, there are no wrong answers here.
there's a whole AI angle. There definitely is, and I think that I have several webinars coming up in 2025 that talk about the role of artificial intelligence in payments, and it's an expansive space. And speaking to the U.S. Faster Payments Council, shout out to them. They're amazing. They do great work in trying to promote emergent technology, AI being one of them. In about a week, I guess you and I are going to be in Denver, and I have a panel on the role of artificial intelligence in the payments ecosystem. And I'm really excited about that because we have a lot of processes in financial services that are manual, that require a lot of time and effort. And I think that AI could help solve some of those manual processes, but it goes so far beyond that. I'm trying not to super nerd out here about everything that I think about this industry, but I think from an operational standpoint, there are a lot of options in terms of solving for fraud, in terms of solving for understanding customer behavior and experience that artificial intelligence can absolutely help with in our industry.
I agree. I agree. I don't know nearly as much about it as you do, but I do think that it is going to really help to eliminate fraud, although we also hear that fraudsters can use AI as well. So, but yeah, I do think that it's going to do more good than anything for the industry.
Right.
Okay, so what would you say? And some of these questions might seem like there's some overlap, but for financial organizations who are processing payments, what do you think is the biggest opportunity for them?
I think the biggest opportunity for financial institutions is to treat payments as a horizontal across your organization rather than a vertical offering. I do a lot of advisement with banks, community credit unions, community banks, etc. And most of the time, they treat payments as a product offering. And I disagree with that point of view. When you look at payments as a horizontal offering across your institution, it gives you the opportunity to optimize your operations while also driving revenue. So that's the conversation that I tend to have. Faster payments is not a product. It's a part of your institution's entire point of view in terms of how money goes in and out of your institution. So, for example, when I work with a bank executive or a team of folks at a bank, I ask them some key questions. How many transactions are going out on every payment rail that you currently offer? How much money is going out or in on every payment rail you offer? And do you know how much money those payments cost your institution? Do you know how much money those payments cost your end customer, whether it be a person, an SMB, an enterprise? That's a horizontal look at your institution. And most of the time when I speak with banks, with financial institutions, they don't necessarily have those answers. And that's okay. It's a shift in the point of view as we look toward the future of better serving our customers. Those questions help to serve us to better serve our customers. So when I look at the advice that I give to FIs, it's, do you fundamentally understand the payments behavior that is occurring in your institution? And if the answer is no, that's okay. But we need to run some numbers. We need to do some math.
That's so true. Well, and I think as consumers and businesses become, uh, let's say, more focused on their finances, you know, in an economy like we have today, right? There's some uncertainty. So they're trying to watch every penny, right? They're going to start doing that evaluation too. Are the payments that we're making the most affordable that we have available? And if they're not, then we probably need to look at some other ways of making our payments where we can hold on to as much of our money as possible. So, um, yeah, and it may not be like I'm just going to find a new credit card solution that has a lower interchange rate. It might be like, okay, I'm going to move, may still have to support some credit cards, but fundamentally, I'm going to move more towards faster payments if that's where there's more savings. So yeah, I think it's very important to ask those questions, and I think it's good that you're encouraging your clients to gather that data. All right, so we just talked about the top opportunity. What would you say is the top challenge?
I think the challenge is looking at, and this may be particularly unpopular, but uh, demystifying or dismantling the myth that interchange revenue is the key barrier or driver or anything else to faster payments. I think people are talking about faster payments, faster fraud, and it's a red herring for the concerns over the loss of interchange revenue for FIs in terms of payment processing. And I I find it to be patently false, if I can be 100% honest. We all expect instant experiences in our daily lives. We are carrying those expectations into our financial institutions, and those experiences simply aren't there. Zelle isn't really the best solution if we're going to call a spade a spade. And when I talk to FIs, they're concerned about losing interchange revenue into their bank because they don't know how to monetize faster payments. They don't understand how that affects their institution. But it's about a reframe. Let's reframe our point of view as financial institutions about what our customers are asking for and what they need. So, for example, I go to a website and I want to buy something. Let's say Target.com. My dog, he's a German Shepherd. He's very beautiful. He loves dog ice cream. It's not ice cream made of dogs. It is ice cream for dogs. And I need to be really clear about that right now. It is ice cream for dogs that is made by, another very popular ice cream brand. Apparently, this is going to turn into like an ad for somebody. But when I go to a website and I want to buy something, I have a variety of payment options that are available to me. None of those are a pay from my bank. So when you think about the customer experience, wouldn't it be great if you could have more deposits, more transactions going in and out of your institution, more data about your customers' payments behaviors that lives with you and not with necessarily like a card network, for example, to be able to offer up better products and services? There's a lot of opportunity here. And so I think when I'm looking at the ecosystem, the fear around losing interchange revenue is the non-starter because there are so many other opportunities to drive revenue. Because yeah, you make, as an FI, yes, you make money on interchange. Great. Love that for you. You also make money and demonstrate profitability to your shareholders through deposit and loan activity. Don't you want more deposits? Maybe we should look that direction.
So true. Okay, so I'm going to ask you now to take like your sum total of knowledge, all of your experience in the payments industry, everything that you have in that wonderful brain of yours, and offer our audience one silver bullet piece of advice. What advice would you give them?
Look at your customers' payments behavior. Just take a look at it and run an analysis. Whatever that looks like for your institution, look at how payments are coming into and going out of your institution, and look at what it costs you and look at what it costs them. It will tell you so much about what you need to do with your payment strategy.
Excellent. Yes. Because after all, it is about making money, but also providing your customers with excellent value.
Mhm.
So, all right. So, just to sum it up and to wrap things up, I want to make sure that our audience knows how to learn more about Pidgin, maybe get in touch with you. If there's any resources you want to point them to, what would you like to share with our audience?
Absolutely. If you'd like to connect with Pidgin, you can find us on LinkedIn, and you can also find our website at www.pidgin.net. If you'd like to follow me and all of my personal projects, you can find me at linkedin.com/Payments Elsa, at Payments Elsa on TikTok, YouTube, and also Instagram.
Very good. Okay. Now, did we hear the story behind the name Payments Elsa?
Yes. It's such a funny story. The first speaking engagement I ever had in the payments industry happened at the Swan and Dolphin at Disney World. I was incredibly nervous, and part of the way that I deal with nerves is to sing. It always has been since I was a child. And so I went to a sushi restaurant that offered karaoke, and I went up and I sang a few Disney songs. I did not realize that there were some bankers in the crowd that were also at the conference that I was attending. They were coming to my session the following day. They offered to let me sit with them, and I was able to encourage them to sing as well. And as I was going up singing Disney songs, encourage them to sing. I was talking about payments, my point of view, talking about what's going on in their banks. In the conversation, it just came out like, "Are you Payments Elsa or something?" Because I have long blonde hair and I sing. And I thought, you know what? Yes, that is me. I can bring my love for singing and being a Disney nerd and musical theater nerd and everything else into also the payment space and create something that's dynamic, and hopefully people will resonate with those messages.
That's fantastic. I wish we had a video we could link to of you singing because I actually heard you sing at the FPC spring member meeting, and you have the most beautiful voice.
Oh, thank
So
you so much. Thank you for saying that.
you're welcome. Well, Angela, I just want to thank you so much for your time today, and I know that our audience appreciates your time as well. And I just want to thank everybody for watching today. Bye
Thank you
now.
so much, everyone. Bye.